everyone, welcome back to another weekly rotations video. We're now on, I think, week 6 of this new series that started since the beginning of the year, where I go through everything I wore from Sunday through Saturday, day and night, everything I wore in between. Sometimes there's cheapies, sometimes there's designers, sometimes niche or indie, but I try to keep a lot of cheapies in here because that is what I enjoy and what this channel is about. But this week is a special edition one. So recently I actually had my wife to pick out my fragrances, and you probably can see that video if you go back. But this week I got my best friend Tommy. Those of you who have been in the channel for a little bit recently, who have seen my recent live streams, probably know him from those live streams. And if you saw my weekly rotations video from last week, he was also in it, where I mentioned that he'd be picking out my fragrances for this week. And I gotta tell you guys, there's a lot of interesting ones in here. You can definitely tell that his style comes out in picking out what I wear, which is very nice, and it's very different to be able to try out different things and things that I haven't worn in a while, or some things I haven't worn at all in general. But I did enjoy wearing these. This week was actually a very warm week here where I live. It warmed up for a good week. I think it's about to cool off again. So I got to wear more things that maybe centered for the spring weather coming up, and he made sure to pick out a lot of good ones for me. So starting off with last Sunday, which was one of the last ones that I picked out from the week previous. It was one that I've talked about on this channel a bunch, and I absolutely love it. I will rave about this one for as long as I have this channel, and it's one that my friend Tommy actually really likes as well. Otherwise, he would have picked this one in this week's rotation, but it is this one here from Bentley. It is Momentum Intense. This thing is absolutely amazing. One of my best blind buys I've ever done in anything I bought. It is incredible. Very, very, very similar to CH for Men by Carolina Herrera, except way, way better performance. So it's very ambery, resinous. Some people say it's a little balsamic, very spicy, woody. It has a lot of elemy resonance on the top, which is what you really get. A good citric pop, but it quickly gets into that woodiness in the base. There's no leather in here, but there is a lot of aromatics and a little bit of a green spiciness in here, which harkens back to how Carolina Herrera, the CH for Men, smells. But this has way better performance, like I just said. Easily 8 hours longevity, if not more. On clothes, it could be longer, and a medium projection for majority of the life of the fragrance. It's super versatile, great for literally all year round, hot or cold, day or night, any occasion or situation. I mentioned that it's a great office fragrance, which it is, but it can also be dressed up or down, casual, formal, whatever. It is absolutely amazing and a huge compliment puller. It has a little bit of a sweetness at the top, a little bit similar to CH for Men, but it still has a little dry in there. So it's not going to be something too youthful, but also it's not something too mature, you know, but it still is very masculine. I think it's easy to wear, easy to pull off. Highly recommend it. It used to be cheaper when I first got it, but I think now it runs about the $30 range, which is still very well worth it for what you get out of it. Now the next day on that Monday, which starts the point that my friend Tommy picked out all my fragrances from Monday all the way through today, which is the Sunday following, which is weird because I know I've been usually recording these on Saturday, but I got a little behind and I'm recording this on the Sunday, the day before I upload, but I'll still be able to get all these in here. At least I get to talk about everything all together, but it is one that I really, really like. It's super good. Haven't worn it a whole lot. Like I said, it is warmer this week, so it's the perfect time to wear it. Actually got it as a recommendation when I did one of my blind buy hauls for, you know, I had a lot of you suggest things for me to buy, and someone suggested me to get this one. Can't remember your name, but if you see this video, comment underneath it and say that you comment in it. But it's one of my favorites that I got from that list. It's really good. It's right in my taste. It is Uomo by Moschino. So usually when people talk about Moschino, they talk about Toy Boy, that line, a lot of the girl line, the Toy Boy bubblegum and all that, Pearl, things like that. But this is one that a lot of people forget. And I didn't really know about this one until it was recommended to me to get it. It is an old school 90s kind of style scent, but it's right in line with things that I love. It is very powdery, very clean, a little soapy. It has a unique note of, I think, kumquat in the top, which adds a good bit of a citric kind of fruitiness to it, and it stays a good majority for the first part of that fragrance. A little musky, a little airy, but it's very clean, very well put together. It's not really a fougere kind of style, like an old style barbershop scent. It very much is in line with the clean kind of style ones you got from like the mid to late 90s, but it's absolutely one that it speaks right to my soul. I have an old school retro kind of heart. I love those kind of fragrances, and this is really good. I think it's actually not as dated smelling as a lot of those are. This still has a very unique kind of modern facet to it, which is really, really good and not really too sweet, but it does have a little bit of a sweetness in the beginning part, but absolutely amazing. Really like it, and it's very inexpensive as well. I think it's like maybe mid-20s, if even that. Super, super cheap, but the projection and longevity on this are really good for the price and for the quality that it is. It is easily like a medium to loud projection for that first like half hour or so, but it stays medium to intimate for majority of it, but the longevity goes even into that 6 to 7 hour range, which is really, really good. I could still smell this on me when I got home from work that day and sprayed on my other one, but really good. Absolutely love it. It's one I'm gonna be wearing a ton this coming up spring and summertime, and I definitely recommend it because it's super, super good. The next one he picked out for me to wear for that night when I came home that Monday night to wear, and it's one that I would never think about wearing at nighttime, one I wouldn't even think about wearing it this time of year. I would wait for certain situations or certain occasions, but he did pick it out for me, and I gotta say, I do like it. Don't get to wear it as often as I talk about it, but I still really enjoy it. It is Lalique's Pour Homme, but this is the eau de parfum, and this is the lion head one. Sometimes you'll see it listed and it'll say lion head, but that's this one here. There is an eau de toilette version, which is probably a little fresher and a little lighter, but this is the eau de parfum. It's a little heavier, a little denser, a little more hearty, but it is really good. Absolutely love this one. It is one, like I said, I don't wear a whole lot of, and I really forget about how it truly smells until I actually spray it on. This is an extremely powdery but woody scent. A lot of moss in this, very, very mossy. I honestly forgot how dense on that moss it is until I wore it. It has amazing, amazing performance on it. Longevity on this is easily 8+ hours. On clothes, it can even last up to a day or two. I mean, I've had this to be on some of my suit coats for like a week on end, and it still smell that dry down, which is a little, that earthiness. It has a good bit of a, like I said, woodiness, a musky factor to it. Very much an old school scent. It's gonna be a mature guy's kind of style. I think this did come out, the EDP, in like the late 90s, but I think there's like some kind of redo sometime after that, but still has an old school throwback feel. Not gonna be for the younger guys unless you like the style, but very masculine, very mature, grown up kind of thing. I do like it. It's also super classy as well. You can wear this, I think, really in spring, fall, maybe winter time. Summer it'd be good, but I think there's a creaminess and the woodiness in this that might be a little intolerable in the high heat, so you might want to save that for the cooler weather. The EDT might do better in that situation though, but the EDP I think is the one to get because it is the best bang for buck for this. Again, Lalique's quality is outstanding and all the stuff they get, especially for the price. I think this one I got for that mid $30 range, which is to be expected, but way better than retail price. So definitely pick it up for the cheaper thing because that's where you're gonna get your best bang for buck, but really, really love this one. And then that Tuesday, he picked out one for me to wear. I haven't talked about really any on this channel except for one of my shorts videos. And I don't know why, because I really do like this. I overlook it a good bit, which is, again, most of the themes in here, he thinks he picked up for me to wear. It's one that I got that is a rack store cheapie, a rack store clone. I really don't know what company this is coming from, but it's one that is really good. I mean, it smells super nice, and I've had a lot of people offer to just get it from me, but I want to keep it because I haven't seen a whole lot around lately. But it's this one here called Dress Code King K, and I don't think any debate there of what this is supposed to be a clone of. This is definitely, obviously, a clone, just by presentation-wise, of Dolce & Gabbana's K, and when you smell it, it is there as well. I think maybe a tad bit different, like an inspiration thing, but what you're gonna get out of this is a heavy, heavy dose of lavender. Very, very lavender forward, which adds a little bit to that masculine leaning kind of side. Also very sweet on the top, very airy, almost aquatic, a lot of woods in the background, a lot of aromatics in there as well. Very, very similar to K, probably the eau de toilette mixed with the eau de parfum kind of way, but not as dense as the eau de parfum, but also not as the same profile as the EDT, somewhere in between, but really, really good. It's amazing pressurized atomizer. I would spray it, but I don't want to fill up the whole room in here. Speaking of, performance on this is not the absolute best. The opening is very loud for that first, I think like half hour to 45 minutes. You know, good sillage to it. Depends on how much you spray, because even though the pressurized atomizer is good, it doesn't disperse out a whole lot. So you might want to double or triple spray it to get a good application. But still, longevity on this, I think goes around that 4 to 5 hour range. Some people may get longer, depends on how you wear it, but still, while it is there, it dries down, having that good sweet musky base to it, and I guess that lavender, a little floral aromatic woodiness. A really good price on this as well. I think it picks up for like $12 to $14 like last year sometime, but really good. Don't see a lot now, but if you do happen to see this out and about at your local Marshalls or TJ Maxx, definitely recommend picking this one up. Perfect for spring weather, perfect for summer weather, warm weather, casual, playful. Probably not gonna be the best formal thing, but very nice, youthful kind of scent. Very good quality as well. And for that night, when I got back home, he picked out one for me to wear that I really like. I don't think I've talked about it on this channel yet, but I will talk about it in a video coming up. It is one that is one of my favorites from John Varvatos. I got this at a really good price at a Marshall's I visited last year in the summertime. It is this one here, John Varvatos XX Artisan. This one is really nice. It is, again, right along the things that I absolutely love in fragrances. It is very, very, very vetiver forward. That's gonna be the main thing with this. A lot of similarities to things like Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford, whether the original or the Parfum kind of concentration. Very woody, very spicy, a little bit earthy, but not overwhelming. A little bit, in the green kind of grassy nature, but not being too, herbaceous, grassy kind of smelling. It is just extremely clean. I mean, it's super hard to hate this kind of style. Very, very easy to wear. If you don't like vetiver because you think certain vetivers are maybe too earthy, too harsh, too dirty, this would be the one to get. I mean, absolutely the easiest thing to wear for the spring, summertime, maybe even fall, office appropriate without a doubt. I mean, anytime you're going out, casual or formal, out of most of these I have here, probably be the easiest one. Again, not something that I would expect to wear at a night, come back home, but did not complain while wearing it. Super, super good. Again, has a nice little woodiness in the background as well. Very masculine, but very clean, very well groomed, put together. Absolutely wonderful. Performance on this though is not gonna be the best. I mean, that is coming from John Varvatos in general, but because it is a fresher kind of fragrance, you don't expect it to be as good performing as something more dense or hardy, but still for what it is, it's actually not bad at all. Easily, I think like maybe 5-6 hours, then it starts drying down very, very low. The opening comes off very bright, like I said, that spicy, effervescent kind of vetiver, very citric forward. That lasts for probably about the 35 the hour mark, and then it dries down from a medium to medium intimate for majority of the fragrance. But again, like I said, perfect for office wear because it's not gonna be too overwhelming. But then when they do smell it, it's not gonna be offensive at all. Again, absolutely love it. One of my favorites out of all my collection, the easiest thing to wear without a doubt. Now on that Wednesday, it's one that I should not be surprised that he picked out for me to wear because this is kind of like Tommy's signature. He loves it. I actually ended up buying him a bottle because he loved it so much and he wears it all the time. I used to really rave about this one to a lot of other people, talked about it on the channel before in one of my, I think, spring videos from last year or the year before. Haven't talked about it in a bit, but I'm glad he picked it out for me because it's nice to appreciate it again. But it is from Banana Republic and this is Grassland. Really, really like this one. I first got this one, so good, as a recommendation from Chris from the Fragmental channel. He talked about this one as being a good cheapie and I had to pick it up when I got the chance to. Only picked this up for like $22, which is amazing, especially for the profile you get. So what this one is, in case you don't already know, is a very fruity, sweet opening, a little green aromatic in the background, but very clean, woodsy, kind of airy, musky as it goes to the mid and the dry down, a little powdery as well. It's one that a lot of people say is like a green Irish tweed equivalent, with like a lot of sweets in the background and green Irish tweed in the background, but I really don't get a lot of the green Irish tweed similarities unless you really spray this up and you're really looking for it. I don't think it's as green, it's not as lemon verbatim kind of quality as that, not as old school, not as musky. It's definitely way more youthful, way more modern smelling. I actually said that this one to me smells like the Easter candy, the grass, the imitation grass you get like in Easter baskets. It smells like that and the taste of that. It very much has an Easter kind of quality to me, perfect for springtime. Like I said, it has that kind of green aromatic facet to it, very clean, very light, a little ozonic, but absolutely a stunner, compliment magnet. I've had people to smell this one and then spray it on because they want to keep smelling it on them. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, this one is really good. Of course, with Banana Republic, performance isn't going to be the absolute best, but it's still really good for what you get. I mean, especially for the quality. It's one that is going to be a good, medium projection for that first hour or so, and then it stays medium to intimate for majority of the fragrance. It dries down, like I said, having a sweet, powdery kind of nature to it. I think it goes into almost the 5 to 6 hour mark. Again, depends on how much you spray, how you wear it on clothes or not, but still really, really good. Absolutely enjoyed this one for the time that I wear it. That sweetness in the beginning, like I said, like a candy fruity sweetness. It's really, really nice. Absolutely love it. Really, really good. And then that night, that Wednesday night, I had a small groups gathering with some people from my church, got together, and this one is another Banana Republic one that Tommy picked for me, and I guess he wanted me to have like a Banana Republic day where I wore Banana Republic in the daytime, and then Banana Republic that night. But it's one that I've seen talked about a lot in the cheapy community, especially Dustin from the Fragrance Fan channel got me onto wanting to try to look for this one. Really like it. It's one I haven't talked about yet because I was wanting to wait till I got the whole icon line, but I guess I'll go ahead and talk about it now. It is this one here, Midnight Hour. This is really, really good. Very much in that Aventus kind of style DNA, but with an added mango fruitiness, so it's like a different kind of fruits rather than what Aventus has with like black currant and the bergamots and the certain kind of lemon citrus and things like that. It still has citrus, but with an added tropical kind of fruitiness with that mango. There's also a oud note in here, which you really don't get unless you really spray it on and look to it. It's more of just a clean, nice woodiness in there. I guess that oud might really come out if you're sensitive to that kind of smell, but really you pretty much get the Aventus kind of style in here. I think also with a boost in that oak mossy kind of quality, which leans it a little bit almost toward that Nishani's Hashiban kind of style, but very much a blend of the two with an added, like I said, tropical fruitiness. Very, very nice, musky, you know, clean, almost a vetiver kind of style as it dries down as well. Good in with the woods in the background. Very, very nice. Performance on this too is not bad. I mean, about the same as you'd expect from Grassland or some of the other icon line. It's going to be a, you know, good projector for the first hour, medium to medium loud, you know, but then as it dries down, it's a probably medium for most of the fragrance, and then dries down even more, going to about like that 6 hour mark, and you're really just going to get that, you know, earthy, aromatic, green, oak moss kind of quality in there, but still really, really good. Again, that citric fruity pop on the top, a little bit sweet is very, very nice. A good addition to that Aventus kind of DNA without it being too redundant. Now to that Thursday, and it's one that he picked out for me that I picked up recently, but haven't had a chance to talk about it because I'm gonna wait till later. But again, I guess I'll talk about it now. It's a rack store cheapie that you've probably seen a ton of times and probably never even thought about picking up or trying out, but I highly encourage you to. This is by Camera Perfumes, and it is one called Monarch. You see that very reflective kind of thing on there, very much a fingerprint magnet, but I do like the studded kind of rubberized feel on the cap and on the bottle. And you can see the juice is like a orangish color, which makes you think it's going to be a good, you know, kind of concentration. It is an eau de parfum, or at least so it says, but enough about that. What does this one smell like? This is one that is very airy, almost metallic, which is what this kind of look, the chrome look is very, you know, indicative of. It is metallic, fresh, clean, has a nice spiciness in there. I think the note breakdown that I saw online, it has like 2 different kind of peppers, which is very noticeable, pepper bite to it. Clean, a little citric, but a little green, spicy, aromatic, a little bit woody too as it goes into it, musky, but very much a style that harkens back to like the early 2000s, late 90s. It's like if Zara Chrome and Platinum Egoise had a baby and made it a little more modern, and for the cheap, this is exactly what it'd be like. I don't know if it's supposed to be cloning anything, because usually Camera Perfumes is a good clone house. I think this might be an original by them though. It definitely has similarities to other fragrances, but this is absolutely so good. Perfect for spring, summertime, good for office wear, casual or formal. And the performance on this is not terrible either. It easily has a medium to loud projection for the first 30, 45 minutes. And then longevity goes into like the 6 hour mark, but I only picked this up for like $14, $16. So just for that, and the scent quality and style alone is not bad at all. It's very smooth. Doesn't really smell that cheap either. Very well rounded, very full, and like I said, like a designer kind of style in a rack store pickup that you would not even think about trying out. You know, you just see it on the shelf like that 1,000 times. You might have seen it and passed by it, but I guarantee you, if you pick it up, I think you'll really like it, especially if you like those older kind of styles. And then for that nighttime, I guess he had me having a rack store day because he picked out another rack store cheapie, which is one I just talked about in my favorite rack store cheapies video. I think I uploaded like a week or so ago. It's one that a lot of people commented on, is saying yes, they love this one, and can't deny I really like it too. Wore it when I got home. It is by Milestone, and it is Hanine Rivera, which is obviously a clone of Thamines Riviere. Absolutely love this scent profile. It is so good. A sweet, fruity leather that is also almost aquatic, fresh, a little woodiness in there. Is such a compliment puller, and the quality on this is so smooth, way smoother than it has any right to be for the $16 I picked this up at, for being, like I said, a rack store shelf fragrance. And performance on this is kind of iffy. I've complained about this not having the best projection, which it doesn't. It projects pretty well for the first like 30 minutes or so, and then it dries down to being a intimate to almost medium projection for majority of it. It has an okay sillage, but it makes a very intimate kind of wall around you. But the longevity on this was actually a little surprising. Yes, it's a low projector, but it easily lasted me well into the night. I mean, almost going up to the 6-hour mark. Even though it was very much a skin scent, it still had a good, sweet kind of quality about it, where if someone happened to, get in close or catch a sillage, it would still smell pretty good. And the pressurized atomizer on this is really good as well. But the quality on this is so good. If it lasted even a little bit longer and projected a little bit further, it would be a perfect 10 out of 10 cologne. Really, really good. But still, for what it is, you can still find this out there, and I still recommend picking it up. Now for that Friday, and it's another theme day that he had for me where I wore something similar from that morning and that night. It is one that I actually don't wear a whole lot of, even though I really like it and really appreciate it. I know he is a huge fan of both of these, and so it's no surprise to see that he picked them out for me to wear. For that daytime, he picked out for me to wear this one, Jacquard Noir. I know Ash from Gent Sense, if he's watching this one, would be screaming because he loves this one. And I do too. Really, really nice. Very much a barbershop fougere kind of style. Has that kind of Barbasol kind of, a shaving cream kind of smell to it, and not lavender. I think really it lends into it. It's also very oak mossy, very, aromatic, a little herbaceous in there, and has a little bit of a kind of woodiness in there as well, but very powdery. I mean, if you smell this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I know Classic Match has one of this. I think that harkens back to the older formulations of this, and it's actually a little better performing, but this is still really good. And don't let the name Noir fool you. This is very much a daytime scent as it is a nighttime scent. I think it's almost year-round kind of usage. It just doesn't perform all that well, probably not as good as it used to do back in the day. This is very much a medium projector from that first hour or so. Then it dries down to a intimate to medium. But longevity on this one, I actually got way better this time than I did usually, but I did make sure to double, triple spray it up. So it lasted me almost about 6 hours or so. It's very much a skin scent by that point where probably I'm the only one that could smell it. Probably gonna lean a little more toward the mature crowd, those who appreciate, retro, old school kind of style scents, but still I think every person, young or old, needs to try this out and see what you think about it, at least just to know where fragrances used to come from and where things developed since then and got their inspiration from, with no doubt. And like I said, he wanted me to have a theme where I wore Jacquard Noir that daytime, and then I wore Jacquard Intense that nighttime. Had a kind of church get together. It was perfect to wear for that kind of formal, dressed up in nighttime kind of thing. And this is actually Tommy's favorite. He loves this. Ever since that I got a bottle, he loved it. I ended up giving that bottle to him and got me a new bottle, but he loves this stuff. It's like one of his signatures. Again, besides Grassland and Bentley Momentum Intense, he loves this one. Very much a flanker in the Jacquard line. It's not a flanker of Jacquard Noir. It's very much coming off of the original Jacquard, which I don't even think is sold anymore, but this is still really good. It has a little bit of a sweet, fruity pop in the beginning, which I didn't mention that Jacquard Noir also has a little bit of a fruity, sweet pop in the beginning, which you wouldn't expect. But this one shares in that same kind of sweetness, but it has a lot more spice to it, a lot more ambers in here. It also leans a little bit more toward the modern side, because I think this came out maybe 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, so way more recent than Jacquard Noir, but very much a modern interpretation of that old style barbershop kind of way that Jacquard used to make and stick with. But this is so good. I mean, very masculine, mature, but very classed up, very, like I said, seductive as well, alluring, has a sexiness about it, like an old school, old money sexiness. Really, really good. Love it. I mean, very inexpensive as well. I think you can even find this at Walmart and all the other body sprays, shaving kits, things like that as well. And performance on this is a little better than Jacquard Noir, but not something outstanding, about the same. It has a little better projection, a little more medium to loud for that first hour or so, and then it dries off being a medium, getting more and more intimate as it goes into it. Again, I wore it very heavily and I did a lot of activity that night, so I probably wore it off quicker than if you were just wearing this for, office or casual or date night kind of stuff. But I think it could easily go into that 5-6 hour mark, with a little better projection than what the Jacquard Noir dries down to, but still really love this one. I'm always gonna try to keep a bottle of this in my collection and keep it in a regular rotation just to keep the appreciation up. Now for that next day, it was Saturday, a day that me and my wife went out to have a date with some shopping around, got some groceries. It was also the warmest day of this week and very humid. It's an overcast, but it lightened up at the end of the day. And I think Tommy picked out one for me that couldn't have worked any better for the kind of day that it was. It was by Armand and it is Club de Nuit Sillage. So I know that George from the Fragrance Apprentice has raved and bragged on this one as being almost a one-to-one clone with Creed's Silver Mountain Water. And I gotta say, I've smelled them both side by side, and they are extremely close. I mean, Creed's Silver Mountain Water probably has a tad bit more smoothness, especially on that opening, but as it dries down and gets into the mid and heart of the fragrance, it is almost one-to-one, and this is a way better performer than Creed's Silver Mountain Water. What you get with this is a good pop of blackcurrant and tea, and the blackcurrant in this is probably my favorite part. It is so juicy and tart and very, very well appealing. Not really too sweet, but it has a little bit in there. Like I said, it has a tea note, very herbaceous. It also has a little bit of a metallic, kind of piercing, musky feel to it, which goes along with the look of the bottle and the silver part of Silver Mountain Water. It has also a good bit of freshness. It's very clean. Like I said, that tea note goes all the way through it, a little herbaceous, and it dries down being a little bit musky, not really powdery, but still has a little bit of a kind of almost warm ambery dry down along with that clean muskiness. Very, very good. And performance on this is spectacular. I mean, loud projection for that first like hour and a half, 2 hours. And then as it dries down, it keeps a medium projection for, I mean, the life of the fragrance, which is easily up to like 8+ hours. I could still smell this on me well into the night, even after I would put it on like at 11 o'clock that morning. Absolutely a monster performer. Not gonna be for everyone though. I know the scent profile is very polarizing. A lot of people don't like that metallic kind of piercing quality to it. And honestly, it's not my absolute favorite either. I think that Banana Republic's Metal Rain is a smoother, better, more easier take on it. But the quality on this, and like I said, the performance and the accuracy is spectacular. And you can pick this up for easily like sub under $30, which is amazing. Perfect for spring, summer weather. Like I said, humid, hot weather is gonna be amazing in this. Classed up or down. It's very formal, but also can be worn very casual, but not something I think that would be great for the office unless you're very light on sprays, at least on this kind of profile, because it is very, very loud, at least on this one here. But still really like it. I'm gonna talk about it more on the channel later on as well, but it's one I'm gonna keep in my rotation because it's still really, really good. In the nighttime, after we got home, waited a little bit, got some things done around the house, rested, you know, did some computer work as well. And I had to wait a good bit for Club Nouveau Cigars to dry down before I sprayed this one on. But when I did spray it on, it easily took over very quickly. It's one I talked about, and again, my recent rack store videos where I talked about my favorites, and it's one that is absolutely spectacular. I think everyone needs to try this out and get a chance. It is Monarch Paris Red Tobacco Vanilla, and obviously a clone of Mancera's Red Tobacco. And it is a amazing clone, almost one-to-one with it. Has the same kind of harsh patchouli opening, not as harsh, it's a little fresher and a little lighter, but still very close. And performance on this, spectacular. And if you don't know what the scent profile is like, it is that very strong patchouli, incense, oud opening, very much vanilla in there as well. And of course, that red tobacco part of it, you get that ashy, but not too overwhelmingly smoky tobacco, just a little herbaceous, and you definitely know it's there. And then it dries down, getting even sweeter when that vanilla comes out more warmth comes into it, and then you get that dry down of just woody patchouli sweetness. It's absolutely incredible. This scent profile by itself is one that everyone needs to experience at some point. There's a lot of other niche, even designer brands that have tried to emulate this, and performance on this is really good as well. Not as good as the original Red Tobacco, and that was like a monster, but it still does very good, especially for the $14 you can find this at, which is amazing quality for what you're getting in this. It is easily like a medium to loud projector for that first like hour or so. Then it dries down to a medium projection, and the sillage in this thing is amazing and easily can last up to almost 7 to 8 hours. Some people say they smelled it in their room after spraying it like 10 hours later, which is incredible, but really, really good. Absolutely love it. I mean, Tommy picked this out for me. It's another one that's a favorite of his, and I mean, me and him actually both found a bottle at the same time, and he's been loving it ever since. But absolutely recommend this one. I'm seeing it pop up a lot more recently at rack stores like Marshall's and TJ Maxx, so if you see this one, definitely pick it up. Now for today, which is Sunday, the last day of this rotation, which is also right before I upload this video, which is kind of pushing for time, but it does allow me to talk about everything that Tommy picked out for me. He picked out one for me that I've bought, I've had, I've smelled it, but I've never actually worn it, a full wearing of it. It's a classic, old style, perfect for before I go to church today, and he thought it'd be, you know, great for a classic kind of day, and it's this one here. It is Brut by Fabergé, an old style scent. I think this came out like in the 60s. one that is very much going to appeal to the older, mature crowd, and even maybe some younger guys who want to appreciate the older style scents. Again, I'm wearing it now. It is absolutely wonderful. Again, I love this kind of stuff. I'm an old school, old soul kind of guy. I really do appreciate this. And it's one that is very much a barbershop, powdery, soapy, lavender aromatics, has a good bit of herbaceousness kind of on the top, a little bit of a citric pop, but not too much, and a tad sweet, very powdery, and a good bit of a woody, musky base on the bottom. I mean, something that when you smell it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that smells very classic. And I mean, it's done its dues. It's been here longer than any of these here, and I think it definitely deserves the appreciation. Not gonna be the best performer. It's gonna be a medium projector for that first like almost 30 minutes when you wear it, depending on how much you spray, and it dries down very quickly, and it probably won't last any more than like 3-4 hours, but still, it is a classic. It deserves appreciation. Again, shows you where fragrances came from and how they developed to where they are now. And I think it very much deserves all the love that it is due. And now for tonight, when I come back home from church, it's one that I've worn 1,000 times, so I already know what it's like. And it's one that's a designer, and it's not the cheapest of designers either, but I think they just started going at online discounters like Fragrance Buy and Fragrance Net, which is very good because I think the brand is really nice. They do great quality stuff, but picking up on the cheap would be your best bang for buck. But this is from Toomey, and this is their fragrance called Atlas. Very much a herbaceous, citric pop on the top, which is very nice, but very much a vetiver, dry but clean woodiness all the way through the fragrance, a little musky. It has a little bit of a good airiness, almost a exotic nature to it. Very clean, perfect for spring, summertime. Absolutely like a quintessential office smell, perfect for the office. I think you can wear this also formally or casually, dressed up or down, perfect for any of that. It's probably not gonna be the best performer and kind of scent profile for like the colder weather, but warmer weather, especially high heat, is perfect for this one. It's one that is not gonna be the best performer as well. I know Toomey has a little problems here and there with some of their performances on the earlier fragrances that they release, and this is one of them. Of course, it is a freshie, so you're not gonna expect it to be as good performing, but it's a good projector for that first like hour or so, depending on how much you spray, but it dies off fairly quickly, being like an intimate to medium projector for I think about like maybe 6 hours or so, maybe even that much. But still, all their stuff is great quality, and this is no exception. Good profile altogether. I really need to pick up more of their stuff, and I've talked about like some of their samples that I've worn, and I really need to go ahead and just get full bottles of them because I really like it. I mean, and look at these bottle designs, by the way. It has a locking mechanism on it, which is fantastic. But yeah, really good. I mean, like I said, not gonna be a cheapie, but if you do get a chance to try this out and you like it, I definitely recommend it. And there you go, guys. Those are all the ones I've worn from last Sunday to today, this Sunday, and majority of them, again, all the ones that my best friend Tommy picked out for me to wear. Like I said, a lot of them are ones that I would never have thought to reach out and get. Some of them I haven't gotten in a while. Some of them I really haven't given much wear, and especially with the kind of season we're in now, that I really wouldn't think to wear this in the day or this in the nighttime. But again, he picked it out for me to wear, and I wanted to try it out. You can really see his style and his preference and fragrances come out in what he picked. It was really neat getting to experience that and wear them through. But again, guys, what do you think about what Tommy picked out? Is there anything that you own or anything that stands out to you? Anything that you want to get or anything you want to talk about? Please let me know in the comments below. And I hope you do enjoy this new format video. I know some of these can go on a little lengthy, but like I said, these are ones that I wanted to upload almost like a vlog, that I just put the camera up, minimal editing, and just talk to you one-to-one without all the presentation mode in the way. But again, if you do enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like, a thumbs up. Let me know so I can keep making videos like this one. And if you happen to be watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, but you do like what you see here, I please encourage you to subscribe to the channel and show some support, even hitting that notification bell so you can see when I upload videos like this one. I'd love to have you right along with me on this cheap fragrance journey, and maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. But as usual, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And as usual, I'll see all of you in the next video on Friday. Be blessed.